thanks for tuning in. I'm Alex with Camp Student Radio, and today I've got a couple members of Family Worship Center here, and I'll let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the band.
Sure, yeah. Andy, Chris Berg. I play piano and I sing.
My name is Dr. Andrew Friendly. I'm the lead guitar player and in charge of research and development and our entire science division.
Awesome. Very cool. So I'd love to hear a little bit about the band's name and aesthetic. So what made you guys decide to be a 70s revival band? And what made you go for the kind of aesthetic and vibe you've got going on?
Sure, yeah. So
What year is it?
now we're we're getting there. So I used to before the band, I was doing a lot of like field recordings, mainly through the South. And in my travels, I stumbled upon this like a pamphlet, kind of like a Bible-esque thing, from this like now defunct cult called Family Worship Center.
Oh,
It was bundled with a record, with kind of like this, stylistically the same style of music that we do. And kind of finding that it really like spoke to me. And so this group is kind of picking up where they left off.
awesome. That's very cool. That's really cool to hear that it came from kind of someone else that you're carrying on a legacy almost. Um, so who would you say are your main influences for your music? Do you guys have any like more modern influences or do you mostly go based on like 70s stuff?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of modern bands that we like, that influence the record, though. Kind of like what we do. I feel like it's mainly, yeah, I'd say it's kind of like 70s kind of style stuff, like the band or Leon Russell, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah,
What
cool.
about you?
I only listen to Little Feat.
All right. All right. So what's your guys' creative process like? Your songs have like a lot of really interesting elements, you bring in brass instruments, lots of layered vocals. So how do you bring it all together?
Well, so some of the songs were pre-written from the album that we found,
Oh,
um, and we haven't so we've recorded those. We haven't necessarily released any of those yet. Those will be kind of on the newer record that we're doing, kind of putting our own spin on it though. So it will be a little bit more modern sounding than our previous stuff, but still like in the same wheelhouse of what we've been doing. Um, the last couple records we've done though, it's only been just a lot of me just kind of like songwriting. And then I'll just get the group together and we'll just kind of like figure out kind of what happens next, to make it exciting and make it a little bit more expansive. I mean, there's a lot of like the stuff that I kind of listen to, besides what I've already mentioned. Randy Newman's like a real big influence of mine too. And most people know him from like movie soundtracks, like Pixar stuff, but he's also just his arrangements are just really neat. Curtis Mayfield's another big influence as well. And so whenever we're doing the tunes in the studio, like typically what we'll do is we'll write them and we'll just have like kind of the bones, I guess, of it. And then after that, we'll sit with it and just figure out like, oh, cool. So let's add strings here, horns here, things like that, just to kind of just open up the sound.
yeah, that's awesome. And you guys just dropped a single last month called Funky Pickle.
Yeah,
I'm
we
curious to know
did.
what the inspiration behind that song is. I enjoyed that one.
Uh, yeah, so in Portland, there's a baseball team called the Pickles.
Hmm.
Uh, and so it's there. I love the Portland Pickles. It's like one of my favorite pastimes in town, just to go to their games. And we wrote a theme song for them, and that's what that is. Whenever you go to the show, like there's a lot of lyrics that we pull from uh, the different things that they do. So there's like when there's a home run, everybody will hold their chair up. There's a Wookiee sound they use a lot for things like that. So we just kind of like pulled a bunch of that into it. It wasn't necessarily recorded as a single. We like again we just did it like for the team. and we just thought it was kind of a like a fun little thing. And so we were like, man, it's a good tune, so we just ended up putting it out too.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think it's a fun song. It's very different than everything else, you guys have going, but it's very fun.
So yeah, yeah.
And so I've got some kind of cool timing on this interview because I'm catching you right before your first show of your tour. So how are you guys feeling? What's going through your mind right now?
We're feeling good. I mean, tour is always fun. You get to kind of hang out with your buds and go and play for people that you don't typically get to. It is neat though. Like we've at the last few shows that we've played in town, because we're from Portland, and so we play in like Pacific Northwest quite a bit. We're actually in Hood River. Yeah, we're in Hood River right now. And it's neat though because we'll see. I mean, after the shows, we'll go to the merch booth and like kind of hang out, and like folks will come up and like talk to us. And it's really neat that the people in Portland are like, yo, like my sister lives in LA, or like I have friends in Phoenix or Tucson or wherever, And so they've kind of been amping us up and really just kind of pushing their friends to come see us out on the road. So that's going to be nice to get to see more of the family than what we get to see typically.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of touring, I want to know, since you guys have been on tour before, what's your favorite part of tour and what's your least favorite?
My favorite part, I mean, tour is funny. It's really just like 22 hours of getting to the show and then an hour of playing, and so, obviously my favorite part is playing. The other hour on tour is tearing down, and that's my least favorite. I think it goes for most of us. What do you say?
To me, like, I think the best part of tour is just spreading our message to everybody and seeing how positively everyone reacts, learning about the groove, how they react when we are able to kind of sit down and have a conversation with them about what we believe in, and like sort of the stuff that motivates us as musicians. I think really, like, I mean, obviously the shows that rip are, it's so much fun. I black out, honestly. uh but when we're really able to sit down and connect one to one with people, talk about the groove with them, that kind of thing, that's my favorite part personally, because I'm, pretty heavily invested emotionally in all that.
And I mean, it is a cool thing too, because like I was saying, whenever we're like at the merch table and kind of like hanging out with, folks or whatever, we do have a couple meters that kind of like test how groovy you are, which is it's a big part of the music. And people like react really well to that. And I would say, what do you think the grooviest town is that we've been in?
I hate I hate to say it, but I gotta say Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really? Really? Okay. All right. So I've just got one last question for you guys, and that is, what does the future of Family Worship Center look like? Any exciting projects you can tell us about? It sounds like you've got something in the works right now.
Yeah, totally. We have a new record coming out. We're gonna hopefully we'll wrap up recording by the end of the year on that. So that's in the works. I'd figure that's probably going to be coming out in early summer, and then we'll in for that. Besides that, we're working on, as I mentioned, like we have that Bible, and so we're working on like a book on tape version of that as well. And I'm actually really excited about that. So it's going to be I don't want to say like a kid's book, because I think that's kind of like maybe it pigeonholes it a little bit, but it is going to be very just like and fun, just kind of like spread the word on that. And then more than likely we'll end up releasing some demos with that as well. So that'll be a little cassette project that we're working on, and I'm very excited about that.
So that's really cool. That's so exciting to hear. So you got to look out for it. Summer of 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming here to talk to us at Camp Student Radio. We'll see you really soon here in Tucson, apparently not the grooviest city in Arizona, at
it
least.
might be.
We'll see you here in
We're
Tucson on August 12th. In the meantime, please give these guys a follow. Everything will be linked down below, and I'll catch you on the flip side.